mynews.studio.
A rhino with a radioactive horn triggers airport alarms. Could this new tactic finally outsmart global poaching networks?
Today is August 24th, 2025. Let's jump in. South Africa has been fighting a losing battle against rhino poaching for years. Even with anti-poaching patrols, drones, and dehorning, more than 400 rhinos are killed each year. Over 100 just in the first quarter of this year. Why haven't the old methods been enough?
The syndicates adapt quickly. Every time enforcement increases, traffickers just find new ways or routes. Dehorning can make rhinos less appealing, but it's expensive, stressful for the animals, and honestly, not foolproof. Sometimes poachers kill anyway. So what can actually change the situation?
This is where the Radioactive project comes in, right? Scientists at the University of the Witwatersrand, together with nuclear authorities and conservationists, have started injecting rhino horns with low-dose radioactive isotopes. And just to be clear, these isotopes are harmless to the rhinos, according to multiple veterinary and international studies.
Exactly. The real innovation is that these radioactive markers mean the horn becomes detectable by radiation scanners. Scanners already installed at airports, ports, and border crossings all over the world. So if someone tries to move a treated horn, it triggers the detectors, even if it's hidden deep inside a shipping container.
That brings up a point. How does this stack up against older methods? Dehorning removes the target, but it's invasive. Armed patrols and drones chase poachers, but they can't be everywhere. Here, the deterrent is built right into the horn. Does this actually make trafficking riskier for the criminals?
Early results say yes. In trials with 20 rhinos, none had health issues. Even horns with minimal isotope levels set off radiation alarms reliably. That gives customs officials a clear, fast way to spot illegal shipments using equipment they already have for nuclear security.
And this isn't just theoretical. International agencies, groups like the IAEA, are actually updating their detection protocols for this. Customs officers are being trained to recognize these radioactive signatures. Is this the kind of cross-border cooperation that's been missing in wildlife crime enforcement?
It's a significant step forward. Poaching networks cross borders, always looking for loopholes. If enough rhino custodians, both private and public, use this approach, it could tip the scales. The risk of getting caught with a radioactive horn might finally outweigh the profits for traffickers.
But there are still open questions. What about long-term effects? The trials so far show no harm to rhinos or handlers. What about over several years or even decades? And could this technique work for other trafficked wildlife like ivory or pangolin scales?
Those are critical questions. The science is still developing. Conservationists want more research on ecological impacts, and there's interest in adapting the technology for other species. The wider hope is that this security by design approach can be used wherever wildlife crime is a problem.
At the end of the day, this is science, technology, and international teamwork coming together. South Africa is testing whether radioactive rhino horns could set a new global standard for disrupting wildlife crime. If it works, could we see this approach for other endangered species?
That's what everyone's watching. The Radioactive project isn't a cure-all. 195 rhinos were still lost in the first half of 2025. But it's a bold new line of defense, and it's already shifting how law enforcement and conservationists approach biodiversity protection.
So, to sum up, South Africa's radioactive rhino horns are setting off alarms, literally, and across the world of wildlife crime. Early evidence points to real potential, but the fight against poaching isn't over.
Thank you for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. Try now for free.